Good. All right. Good evening, everybody. We good? Okay. Welcome to our BZA meeting for October 20th. We'll get started. It's 5:30. Just to do a quick recap of the agenda for tonight. We'll start off with a silent prayer, pledge of allegiance. We'll do roll call and we'll start our public hearings. Before public hearings, I'll turn it over to Mr. Whitney and he'll swear everybody in before we get started. All right.
Let's allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Okay, roll call.
Mr. Shrewsbury,
Here.
Mr. Palma,
Here.
Mr. Rentz,
Here.
Mr. Durick,
Here.
Mr. Whitman,
Here.
Mrs. Stark, here. 6 yeas, we have quorum.
Okay, Mr. Whitney.
Thank you, Mr. Shrewsbury. My name is Vic Whitney. I'm legal counsel for the Board of Zoning Appeals tonight. As our chairperson indicated, we have two public hearings on tonight's agenda. The first one is a variance request for a rear yard setback at 286 Prairie Run Drive. In a moment, I will ask anyone who's planning on offering any comments or testimony as to that application to stand up. We'll have the stenographer here swear you in. This is a public hearing. As you know, there is a stenographer here. She's diligently typing down everything that I'm saying, and she will do that during the course of this meeting. So when I turn it back over to the chairperson, and in turn, he calls persons up to provide comment, including the applicants and anyone else that may wish to give comment, come on up to the lectern. State your name. As you notice, there's a microphone there. State your name and your address clearly into the microphone so we can make sure we hear who you are and we know where you live. And then you can begin to provide your comments. The board may or may not have questions for you during the time that you're offering any testimony tonight. If they do, allow them to ask their question before you begin responding. The stenographer can only type one thing at a time. So once they're done speaking, then you can answer them, and then we can go that way so that the stenographer can make a clear record tonight. So with that said, just with respect to the first variance request, the rear yard setback at 286 Prairie Run Drive, we'll get to the second one here in a moment. So anyone that's wishing to offer testimony tonight or comment on this application, if you would stand, raise your right hand, and I'm going to have the stenographer actually swear us all in right now.
Swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth out of the counties of Perjury.
And prior to turning it back over to you, Mr. Shrewsbury, I would move to admit exhibits related to this first variance application. I've got marked as Exhibit A, 13 pages, which is the application document submitted by the applicant, along with a legal description of the property, some plans and elevations that were all provided to the board, and narrative statements that were accompanying the application. So that's Exhibit A, 13-page document. Exhibit B is a 5-page document, which is the staff report that was submitted to the board on this application. And finally, Exhibit C is 4 pages, which is the public hearing notice that went out on this matter and was posted according to the zoning code, and the proof of mailing to the affected property owners that needed to be notified. So that's Exhibit C, 4 pages. So with that, I will move to admit these exhibits into the record and turn it back over to you.
Okay. We'll get started with the staff report.
The applicant is requesting a rear yard setback to allow for the encroachment of a structure off of the dwelling unit into the rear yard. The proposed greenhouse would come at 10 feet off of the dwelling unit,
Is
oh, sorry.
they're out of order. Yeah, sorry. This one is for the garage, Prairie Run, right? Sorry.
This is very wrong.
Prairie Run's the greenhouse. Oh, sorry, my mistake. Oh, okay, sorry.
Opposite order.
Oh, it is. Yeah, oh, sorry. Um,
Yeah, 100 North Street's the garage.
Just on the agenda, it's just reversed as well.
Yeah,
reverse,
Yeah.
oh,
yeah.
sorry about that. So the proposed greenhouse would come at 10 feet off of the dwelling unit, leaving about 5 feet of rear yard space. This is, however, a unique case as this parcel is zoned PRD, but it's not part of a planned development. Therefore, it does not follow a development text prepared by a developer. So in a PRD, there must be a rear yard of no less than 40 feet. However, the rear yard is only 15 feet. So this parcel is more comparable to those located within the R3 zoning district, which allows for accessory structures to be located no closer than 6 feet to the rear lot line.
Is that everything for the staff report? Everything, okay, cool. So we'll go into the applicant presentation, so, just to make sure that I got it right, free tag, is it? Right tag. Please state your name and address and state your case.
286 Prairie Run Drive. Owned the home for about 2.5 years now. So thank you all for being here, first of all. Requesting a zoning variance to build a small food growing room or greenhouse onto the back of my home. As you know, it would extend to about 5 feet from the rear property line, or so. Kind of a questionable property line at the moment, not really sure exactly how far away it is. It would double as like a Four Seasons room, if you will, so for resale value and things like that. I would like it to be versatile, which is why I would like to be attached to the home. There is an existing door back there that leads into the property, so I would make it very convenient to access for multiple reasons. The reason I'm requesting it is that I follow a very strict clean diet due to personal health reasons. And the loss of my mother lost months of cancer. So therefore I grow my own food, primarily root vegetables, leafy greens, herbal teas, things of that nature. All organic, of course. My current space is insufficient for year-round growing. So this would help me maintain that standard throughout the year. The structure will be small, unobtrusive. You won't be able to see it from any of the neighbors' properties, from the road. I would be in the back of the property. I do have support from two of my neighbors. We're not able to make it tonight, but you can see that their notes of support. I also posted it on the neighborhood page. Last I checked, I had about 16 likes and loves, so no negatives there. And lastly, my backyard is significantly shorter than those of the surrounding homes, so the compliance with the 40-foot rule is disproportionately restrictive for me in this case. That's all I have.
Awesome.
Any questions for the applicant?
I had a couple questions. Firstly, being a neighbor, I do live down the street. I want to say the curb appeal that you've added to the neighborhood has been significant and it's beautiful. And thank you for all of your neighbors. Appreciate that, especially all of us that take walks. Couple quick questions. So because of the home being 15 feet-ish off of away from the fencing, then when the structure is built, the proposed structure, then it's only 5 feet. And then with doors opening, it would then be less than 5 feet. So my question was, has it been looked at that the door, rather than going straight out, be to the side instead?
Yes, I have, I will be adjusting that so that it opens out to the the larger part of the yard with the drawing that I did. It's the best I could get AI to do for me.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
not a complete representation of what it would actually look like, but you have to have
Okay.
consider that 5 foot, you move the mower back there.
Yeah, yeah. That's perfect. That was gonna just maybe be a suggestion, just usability space. And I am led to believe that after, assuming you get yays from here, you do have, next steps as it comes to pertaining to like inspection and getting, permits. And in there, I just wanted to say, if they may or may not have fire restrictions based off of how far you are from the fencing, and then knowing that there's, trees behind there as well. That there's things that you can do with like fire rating, glazing, things like that. So just something I worked in insurance industry for a number of years. So those are things that you can mitigate that. But just something to think about at those next steps, that if you get a no from them, that there are different ways to, work with them. But I would say moving that door is probably a good idea anyway, just for usability. But I just wanted to see about that. So that concludes my questions and my concerns with that. So, all good. Thank you. Mhm.
Any other questions for the applicant? Okay. Is there any public comment? I'll take that as a no. Okay. Thank you for your presentation.
Thanks.
And we'll turn it over to Mr. Whitney for our second variance.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Again, the second item on the agenda is a variance request for building setback and corner lot fence at 100 North Street. Similarly as the previous one, we're still on the record. The court reporter's taken everything down. So anyone who wishes to give testimony, if you would stand up right now while the court reporter swear us in.
You swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, nothing but is perjury.
I do. And once again, of course, when the chairperson calls you up to testify, walk up, provide your name and your address into the microphone, speak slowly and clearly so the stenographer can get everything down, and try to let the board ask questions before we respond to them, so that we can have one person talking at once. So with that, Mr. Chairperson, I would move to admit exhibits in this hearing as well. I've got, again, 3 exhibits. The first, marked as Exhibit A, is the application material submitted by the applicant along with this application, which again consists of plans, elevation drawings, and a legal description of the property and some photograph that they submitted. That's Exhibit A, 12 pages. Exhibit B is 5 pages this time, and it is again the staff report associated with this application. And Exhibit C is a 7-page document, which is the public hearing notice and the proof that was sent out to the affected landowners. Exhibit C, 7 pages. So with that, I would move to admit Exhibits A, B, and C into the record, and turn it back over to you, Mr. Chairperson.
Okay, thank you. Staff report.
So the applicant is requesting a building setback from 75 feet from the center line to 35 feet from the center line. In the staff report, I had put 10 feet. However, it is going to be 10 feet from the property line and 35 feet from the center line. So since the right of way is less than 60 feet, no building shall be closer than 75 feet from the center line of the adjoining street. This would put the proposed garage approximately 5 feet from the opposite property line. And having the garage be placed 10 feet from the property line is not uncommon within R3 zoning district. And there are instances within the immediate vicinity of this parcel with garages that close to the property line. The applicant is also requesting a variance for a corner lot fence. The fence will be about 4 feet tall with and will be an ornamental fence that will be located around the entire property. Staff does not believe that this will affect the line of sight if it's in the front and side yard as well for the adjoining streets.
Okay. Thank you. The applicant, please come up to the lectern. And this will be Ms. Davis.
Yes.
Correct.
Thank you all for your time this evening. My name is Karen Davis. I live at 100 North Street, and I just moved into the property in April of this year. And I would just like to express my appreciation to the community of Sunbury for being so welcoming and so helpful. I'm on a corner lot, and as you may know, if you've driven by the property or observed it for the last couple of years, it's been under tremendous amount of remodeling for quite some time. And they changed, when they did the remodel, they changed the carriage house into a master suite, leaving the house without a garage. So I'm asking permission to build a garage, and as is seen in the drawings, it's kind of difficult to finagle putting up a garage with all of the different zoning rules. So I am asking for a variance, so I can put one there and I need to give minutes. I'm trying to remain true to the style of the house and the style of the neighborhood. The garage will be I'm trying to stick with a Williamsburg sort of colonial style that will add to the neighborhood and not take away from the value of people's houses or my own house. It has a cupola on the top. It will have a sliding barn door on the back that will open up to raised beds, which is also why I'm asking for a fence for, the brackets and pillars and it'll be a picket style fence, sticking with the Williamsburg theme. And I believe that will also add to the value as it sits pretty prominently on the corner of the lot. One more point to note that the way that they've set the garage on the property, that it's slightly behind the house when you're standing at the front. So the garage will not be visible from the front of the house, only from this. Thank you.
Awesome.
Any questions for the applicant?
I haven't driven past the property, but is it from street level, is it elevated at all?
Yes.
It is. Okay. By like, say how much?
I would. Oh my glasses.
Yeah,
There's a drawing.
that's okay.
I think the front part of the property is elevated probably 2 feet maybe.
Okay,
And
not much.
then there's a decrease in the back of about 6 feet in front of the property.
So that plus the fence height probably should not create a line of sight issue because on the corner, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, and actually there's, where the sidewalk would be, there's not a sidewalk on that side street. That part is very low, so there.
Thank you.
For the backyard, I see the elevation change as you go to the rear of the property. Is there any concern from the city in terms of, I don't know exactly how the water drains from the house, if it goes from a downspout directly onto the top of the backyard, or if there's drainage pipe going out to the street or something. I didn't look in that level of detail when I drove by. But as the water flows towards the rear of the property, does this garage then deflect water drainage out into the street, for example?
Actually, I've been working with the members of the Masonic Lodge behind me.
Okay,
And we've been clearing that back property line, so all the trees have been cut or trimmed up. And we actually found a stormwater drain
okay,
right there. So we both thought about, getting permission to be able to run the gutter drains.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the downspouts to that stormwater drain, so no.
okay,
It's already provided for them.
okay. So definitely a thought there in your development. So, okay.
I'm sure I've heard about this, but.
No, just a question. Okay, any other question?
Did we do this already? The morning street
No.
garage?
Mm-mm.
We get different garage.
It's the same scenario, different
And
address.
so, yeah, very short driveway onto the street.
Get
Yeah.
I'm like, it's identical. Similar.
Okay, if there's no other questions from the board, any public comment? take that as a no. Yes, please. Thank you for your presentation.
Name, so Larry Potts. I live at 47 North One Street on the south. It'd be the southeast corner. Karen's home is across the street. By the north, east corner. And, she has done, I just speaking for the neighbors, yes, since one of them. She has done a great job, acclimating to the neighborhood, meeting everybody. She's very knowledgeable in what she's doing, being very, careful about, taking every proper step that she has to take. I've lived there for, 40 some years now, late 70s. And, the neighborhood put up, as you all know, the neighborhood put up with a pretty bad site on that northeast corner after it was basically sold, and then took a long time to develop it. It was quite an facility. And indeed, it looks a lot better. So, I have spoken personally to some of the neighbors, and I've had no one, negative about the, what she's attempting to do. And, I think it would be a much more improvement than has what the type of structure she's doing with the garage and with the fence. So, I guess I'm serious whatever offer of and hopefully it's get this approved.
Thank you. Okay, I think that will do it for our public comments. Do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make the motion. Randy will second.
Mr. Palma,
Yes.
Mr. Renz,
Yes.
Mr. Shrewsbury,
Yes.
Mrs. Stark,
Yes.
Mr. Whitman,
Yes.
Mr. Drury,
Yes.
6 yeas, motion approved.
Okay, so we'll move into board discussion for the first variance on the greenhouse. Is there any discussion amongst the board members? Any clarification needed on what we're reviewing?
There are no HOA docs for this property, right? Okay.
Are there any concerns or is there any plans from the city to build behind the existing structure that leads into the school?
Which school are you talking
I believe that leads into the road for the school.
That's goes up to like 3, right? There's woods. And then it goes up to
there's
3.
woods directly behind
Woods
it,
directly
and then
behind
there's the assisted living facility on the corner of
Okay.
3 and 37, 36 there.
Okay.
So that's more of the angle that would be behind.
Okay.
And directly
Understood.
behind the house in the wooded area currently is not in the city of Sunbury. I think it's in Berkshire Township still.
Okay. That's helpful. Thank you. So the property just behind the house is not part of the city of Sunbury.
That's correct.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments, clarifications needed from any board member? I think in my view of what's written, I think the letters of support are definitely good in their absence. One of those members did come to the board before with their own concerns, so I'm glad that our applicant's following the process. but I have no further questions. And, if there are no other questions, we can move into, making a motion to, approve as written. Unless anybody has some other proposal. Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Whitman,
Yes.
Mr. Renz,
Yes.
Mr. Durick,
Yes.
Mr. Palma,
Yes.
Mr. Shrewsbury,
Yes,
Mrs. Stark,
Yes.
6 yeas, motion approved.
congratulations.
Yay.
Okay, on to the second variance, for the garage. Is there any further discussion amongst the board that needs to occur? Any questions? Clarifications?
So we've had similar garages brought up in the past, that may not have received a yes vote, that are in a similar situation. Is that something we should be concerned about? Or is the city comfortable with the setback on Mooring Street?
I mean, you're considering this application, consider the Duncan factors that are present, consider the text of the code. That shouldn't be a concern. It's really what you're looking at is whether or not, based on what the applicant presented, it satisfies you to approve it as variance.
So just to maybe branch off of that, since we do still have some new members on the board, it is good to reference other properties, but not necessarily a guarantee that they should receive the same approval. The only question I had was on the appearance of the proposed garage, but the details were there. And it appears to me to be more or less in line with the home, even with the updates to the home, which I did look at some previous photos, and that home did go through some extensive appearance changes. So it was definitely a 180 from where it was. So I don't have any other questions. Okay. So if there's no other questions from the board, is there a motion to approve as is, as written?
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
Mrs. Stark,
Yes.
Mr. Palma,
Yes.
Mr. Whitman,
Yes.
Mr. Durick,
Yes.
Mr. Renz,
Yes.
Mr. Shrewsbury,
Yes,
6 yeas, motion approved.
congratulations. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from our last meeting held back on June 16th. Is there any clarification, corrections that need to be made to our minutes? I did not see any. If not, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Whitman,
Yes.
Mr. Renz,
Abstain.
Mr. Shrewsbury,
Yes.
Mr. Palma,
Abstain.
Mr. Durick,
Yes.
Mrs. Stark,
Yes.
4 yeas, motion approved.
Okay, our last item is our next meeting for November 17th. Is there anything in the works at the moment? Nothing? Okay. So we'll keep that on the record until we know differently. Other than that, our agenda's all done. Motion to close.
Second.
Mr. Shrewsbury,
Yes.
Mr. Renz,
Yes.
Mr. Palma,
Yes.
Mr. Durick,
Yes.
Mr. Whitman,
Yes.
Mrs. Stark,
Yes.
6 yeas, we are